Hi, I'm Greg Garcia. I'm here at Golden Fly Shop. Good morning. I am going to be doing a series of new videos for the store. Today we're going to be doing the mini hot Mayfly. Most of the videos are not going to be particularly pattern focused, but techniques, digging down into the past, seeing what the tires have done before us to get to where we are today. So there's a lot of history to be told, and really looking forward to this. Here we have the mini hot Mayfly. Right here in the vise right now I have the new black color, which has a hot Chartreuse butt to it. It's been working really well early season because most of all the bugs in the river are dark first of the season, and then as the season progresses they're going to get lighter. So we can go into the olive colors, the yellows, even the hare's ear color works really well as an all-around fly. Now, normally I tie this on a 100 Tiemco. In the vise right now, that is the 103 BL. So feel free to play around with the hooks. This is a little bit lighter hook, a little bit more of a flex to it. But it's fun just to tie this fly on different hooks. Today, since there are some videos out there of me tying it on a 100, today I'm going to tie it on the 102Y. Again, black hook. I really like black, dark nickel. This is a 15, which is kind of the equivalent to a 16 in the 100. And what I like about this hook, it's got a bigger gap. So again, your choice, just have some fun with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my shank of my hook. I look at this from about where the bend starts down to the back of the eye is 100% of this hook. So I'm going to start my thread at about the 75% point. So there's 50. So going forward, if I divide that into a quarter, there's 75. So that's going to come into play here in a couple of steps. What I'm going to do is bring my thread back down to right above the barb, or where that shank goes from straight to a curve. We're going to put in our tailing feathers. Now this is some whiting Mayfly tailing in a brown. We're going to pull those perpendicular to the stem, and then I'm just going to pull it off stem wise. And what I like to do too is I like to cut these little barbs off, just so that all these fibers will lay down nice and soft next to each other. About the length of the hook for our tails. I'm going to do one, so what I'm doing there is I'm laying it at a little angle. I'm going to do a soft wrap. Now my second wrap, I increase my tension, and those will roll right on top. There we go, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to continue forward right up to the tie-in point, which was 75% on this hook shank. Now I'm going to tie in the little hot section. This is Chroma Flash from Hairline. It is in their Chartreuse. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it in right at that 75% point again. pull it even. And then as I'm going back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here. I'm going to spin my thread counterclockwise, flatten it out, so we get in a nice smooth wrapping point for our hot section. I'm going to come forward to right about the tip of the point. Now at this point you could hit it with a little glue, make this a little bit more durable, but we're just going to continue wrapping this forward. Takes about 4 wraps. Tie that off. And then I'm just going to cut that again at the length of everything we've tied in at the 75% point, and then wrap that forward. So what that does is keeps the body nice and smooth, no gaps or anything, or bumps. So we're going to go forward up to the eye, and then I'm going to come back 25%, or about 15-ish. You don't even have to think about percentages. Just think about this is 75% or 25% of the remaining hook, and just come back halfway. So that'll give us a nice visual. Now the next piece is I'm going to use some Parapost, again from Hairline. This has been treated with a water treatment, so it will keep it dry. What I'll do in the whole piece is I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'll cut it in fours so I can continue tying more flies. It's good to come in here, get in any tangles or snarls, open up all those fibers. Now I can just tie this in right on top of the hook. I'm going to do 1, 2 wraps, make sure it's tight, and then tie this in like you're going to do a spinner. So I'm going to go from the front to the back, 2 wraps, X that on, make a wrap around the hook just to make sure it doesn't slip. And then now that leaves my thread at the back of the wing, and I'm going to go to the front twice, and again another wrap just to make sure nothing's going to slip. So now if we're going to fish a spinner, that's it. You can see how that wing is in place and ready to go. But we need to post this to do the parachute. So I'm going to bring my thread straight up. I'm going to go around the base of the post, and I'm wrapping counterclockwise. I'm going to go up about 4 soft wraps, hold on to the post, and then onto your bobbin hand, tighten that up. I'm going to do that again. Just 2, 3, 4, tighten up. Maybe 2 more wraps up, tighten it up, and then I'm going to go right back down the post. Tighten, down at the base, tighten again, and then around the hook to secure that all into place. And my post isn't much bigger, maybe an eye width and a half up that post. So now we can put in our hackle, which is going to be a Grizzly. And I sized this in a size 16. What I'm going to do is I pulled some fibers here perpendicular to the stem, as you can see. I'm going to strip those off. want to make sure is when I tie this in that I have a little bit of room here so that I have about at least a turn of a bare stem before the hackle fibers start to come off. And then I'm just going to, again, just like I went up the post, counterclockwise, go up the stem, tighten it, and then right back down that post. Get to the bottom. Before I go any further, I want to make sure that my hackle is tied in so that it's cupped up and that I get a little bare stem before I start to see my hackle pop up. So once I'm happy with that, I can cut this extra stem out. I'll cut your thread. Go up to the eye. We're ready for a little bit of dubbing. So this is black Superfine. Pulled just a chunk out of the bag, and what I'm going to do before I get started is I'm going to pull these and stack them. Just trying to get all these fibers going in the right direction. Little dubbing wax on my fingertips. Just enough to give myself a little purchase. And get this tip started, draw it down. Into about 5 inches noodle here. I'll be adding some more dubbing here, but what I'm going to do a little bit different on this is normally we'd start our dubbing back towards the tail and dub up, but what I like to do is start my dubbing right at the eye, go up to the post, go behind the post. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create the diameter of the thorax that I like. First. And then once I get that to what I like, then with my thin dubbing needle I can go back down to my hot butt section. Need to add a little bit more dubbing. But I found that by doing this, it really helps in making a nice taper to the fly. You can see how working that in, how seamless this is going to be. If you see any little gaps you'll see in there, you can fill that up. But that's gonna pretty much take care of that. You pinch too much dubbing, but we can work that in there and get rid of it. What I found is when I normally would do parachutes, there was always a kind of a little gap right underneath the post, which was always a little annoying. And this just makes it really easy to dub that in. Okay, now we're going to wrap my hackle. And the hackle is just like thread to create this post is going to go around counterclockwise. 2, 3, 4 wraps. Maybe we can get in a 5th. Now I'm holding this hackle and I'm just going to twist this so you can see it. It's on my side of the hook. I'm going to reach over my vise, and with my thread I'm going to come right at the base of this post and tie off this hackle with 2 wraps. That should do it. Now I can let go of my hackle and nothing's going to come apart. Then I can pull everything back, bring my thread right up to the eye, and then I can whip finish, do a little trimming, and we're done. So I can just slip that right underneath. Again, pull everything back. Don't trap any fibers. There we go. 3-4 wraps should do it. Tighten everything down. Okay. Pull my hackle down in place. And then I'm going to come in here and cut my hackle out. All we have to do now is trim this wing. Or post, I should say. The post can be as short as you'd like. I usually cut it about the length of the body. Kind of give it a little twist, kind of make sure it's all together. And then I'm just going to come in here, do a little slant cut just because it looks pretty. And there we go. That is the black version of the Mini Hot Mayfly. Thanks for watching. Please continue watching some of these videos. Again, we're going to be focusing on techniques, proportions, lots of patterns or techniques from the past so that we can see where our roots were and we can continue and have a little history on our fly tying.